right, we're back. It's basically Monday. I'm your host tonight, Johnny G, and I'm here with the boys again. Super Bop, or I guess, can we just call you by your actual name? Do you
Yeah,
like being
that's
called
fine.
Super
Yeah.
Bop? Okay,
I
Valero.
kind of don't mind it at all, actually.
Okay,
I like
good.
it.
All right. Oh, you're
Super
by
Bop.
Super Bop. Oh, okay. Yeah, all right,
Yeah, you
Super
can
Bop.
Valero, Super Bop, like whatever. Yeah, that's either one.
Okay, and Gouda.
That's me.
Yep. How are you all tonight?
Not not bad, not bad.
How was
Busy
Halloween?
being a dad. Halloween. Oh man, we were not ready. I forgot that Halloween was like actually like here. So then like I didn't even notice until I saw people walking outside with like costumes and shit, like outside like my front door. And I was like, oh shit, like they're gonna come to like my house for like candy and I have nothing. Actually, that's not even true. I had candy, but I only wanted it for myself. But like, yeah, like our neighbor like walked by with their kids or their grandkids or whatever, and they looked right into my window as I was standing there looking mortified. And as soon as we made eye contact, I just like closed the blinds real quick. Like I think I closed all the curtains. Is that terrible? Am I a terrible person?
No,
No.
no.
Like she looked at me dead in the eyes and was basically like candy, like you got some, and then I just like closed the curtains.
No, you should not be obligated to do that.
Yeah, she was on your property. Don't we have like laws about that?
She was still on the sidewalk technically, which I guess is
You
like
guys
my
locked eyes
sidewalk.
from the sidewalk? That's insane.
I mean, honestly, like I can't tell if she was just looking at my house or like if she could see me, but I would imagine you could see like my face just like sitting right there, like
Yeah,
is
they
that
definitely saw what you did for sure.
and
100.
then you see all the curtains closed the moment you look at the house, like and then like
So
on top of that, someone posted on next door. Or no, not next door. They posted on the Cudahy Facebook group. And apparently, like my neighborhood is the neighborhood everyone goes like trick or treating for the city. So like they posted and there's like, man, trick or treating was garbage this year. There was only like three houses giving out candy. Like, what's up with that? And like I was just thinking, like, damn, like I'm literally like part of that problem. But whatever, I wasn't ready. I didn't even notice what day it was.
yeah, I never even saw any around here, so I couldn't tell you. What about you, John?
Yeah, we had a good Halloween. We took Mila to like my town's small, so like they have a thing on Halloween basically for like a couple of hours in the evening where all of the small businesses on the one like downtown street and the surrounding area basically they just all the business owners stand outside and hand out candy to everybody. So
See, I feel like that's better than houses because like business owners want to be seen by people. Like people in
yeah,
houses aren't trying to be seen.
yeah,
I like
true.
that.
Yeah, so like one of the people at the bakery like they give cookies sometimes instead of candy. Stuff like that. Yeah, it's very small town, but yeah. So basically, I mean, there probably are still some people who trick or treat house to house, but it's much more common to go downtown. Like most of the town, it feels like is there, and it was still pretty busy even with it, like because it snowed for us the day before, and there was snow on the ground still, and people still came out. So
Did you get loads of candy or
yeah,
was it
yeah,
sparse?
yep. I got a we got a good amount of candy, but I mean, I don't even eat candy, so like for Danielle and Milo, they enjoyed it, but. I was just there to
What
sort of be there to see Milo do it.
would you go as besides observant parent?
We went as a pumpkin patch, like we were all pumpkins.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Mm.
Mila said she wanted to be a pumpkin, and then she said like that she wanted me to be a pumpkin, so I was just like, all right, I'll do it too. And
She said, "I want you to be a pumpkin," and you
yeah,
did it.
yeah, she said you pumpkin too. And I'm like, all right, yeah, I can be a pumpkin with you.
Yeah, huh.
Yeah.
All right.
So we all just wore these like very rudimentary basic Amazon like pumpkin fittings around our waist torsos. And so did she, and she had her own one too with a little hat. So, but everyone thought it
I
was
s-
pretty cute.
it was adorable. I saw the picture. Like Mila, she's just too cute. She's just sitting there like I just literally can't even imagine like what it must be dealing with her like all the time. Like she's like adorable. But
Yeah, pretty
she
much what
said
you'd
you
imagine.
pumpkin too, and that was it. Like did
Yep.
she say that multiple times or like just the
Yeah.
one time and it was just like, sure.
No, we asked her more than once, like with days apart, and she each time she said she wanted to be a pumpkin. So she was pretty set on it.
Well, what about you being a pumpkin?
Yeah, same thing. She had asked me multiple times.
She's like, we both have to be pumpkins.
Yeah, like pumpkin, like you pumpkin, mommy pumpkin. Like I want every. And then my mom came for Halloween too, and she also bought the same costume and dressed up with us too. So
That's hilarious.
yeah,
She was like, bruh, she's like, you know what we should all do this year? We should go to Halloween as pumpkins, a group costume.
yeah,
And
group.
you're like, all right, let's do
Yeah,
it. That's pretty awesome.
yeah, it's
That's
fun.
cool.
Well, I only have so many years where I can enjoy that kind of thing with her. So
Is
Yeah.
this the first year that you guys dressed up?
no, we did last year too. And last year it was the temperature difference was so different, was so crazy too. Because last year we were in t-shirts, and this year we're like in full winter gear. So yeah, last year we did it, but she was really young then, so it was
Hmm.
she understood basically that people were out there and having a good time and getting candy, but like it was a lot for her still. Whereas
Okay.
this time she like understood. I'm supposed to say trick or treat. I'm holding the bag up. You're gonna put candy in my like. She was excited to do it. Like the whole time the year before, she was asking us to pick her up. I picked her up one time the other day on Halloween, and she just take a picture with her, and she immediately asked me to put her down afterwards. She was like, "I want to walk. Like I want to go get candy."
Nice.
Yeah, so she enjoys it.
Did she see any costumes that she was like, that's crazy?
Yeah, the like oversized like balloonish dinosaurs, like the dinosaur
Hmm.
costumes. She didn't like those.
You didn't like those?
No, she didn't want to get close to it, but she kept talking about it. Like she was curious, but also very scared of it.
Like why? Like why is she scared of it exactly?
I don't know. Might
It's
just be
just
how
some
it
sort of
looks.
natural instinct where you're just like, that's
Yeah,
not right.
yeah. She was like, nah, that's weird.
Well, I meant more of like, what about ones that she liked?
Did she
Or was
like any?
that pumpkin was just nothing could beat it?
Yeah, she wasn't. I mean, occasionally she would point to other people's costumes, but like that was because we were pointing to them with her. But yeah, I feel like she was much more focused on the fact that we were all pumpkins and she was getting candy.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's how Halloween's supposed to be.
Yeah. Yep. So it was good, but good to hear that everyone. Yeah, good. Did you say? I don't think you said. I was the Halloween. Did you do anything?
Yeah, it was good.
Oh.
Yeah,
All
that
right.
Yeah, I hung out with Laura. Can
Oh.
I say that?
Okay.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, is are you okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had a little a thing. It was
Okay.
nice. It was nice enough that like the next day was ruined for me. So yeah,
It
Oh.
was?
Jesus.
yeah.
No way.
But I mean, those
Dude,
beers, you saw they were 6%.
yeah. They were like surprisingly good actually, even though they were so strong. Like that had some flavor. You said your day was ruined.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
I only had three though. But they were like these like it was like a pumpkin like seasonal, and I just couldn't help myself. I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be drinking tonight. So I
And
had
pumpkin,
three of
like
those.
when else are you ever gonna drink pumpkin beer throughout the year?
Right.
Never.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
But
Yeah, I had a pretty good time that night.
I
Very good.
went as a Target employee.
That's
What
right.
about you, Valero?
I was a construction worker.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always interesting to see like who decides to go as like a person as opposed to an inanimate object. I don't think I've done nearly enough inanimate objects. I always usually choose like a person.
A
But that's a
person is
good
just like
direction to go.
easier.
True. I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like sometimes you have to like explain too many times. And then like halfway through the day you're like, dude, my costume sucks. I'm just gonna go home.
If you're a person.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Dude,
You have to choose someone with like a very distinct look. Otherwise, it's hard to pin it.
Did you
I
see any? Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I saw um someone like one like a car dealership like in like Sheboygan or whatever posted a picture of like their like some of their employees' costumes that they showed up in, and like one of them like there's just three pictures that they posted, and one of them was Kyle Rittenhouse. Like, like
Wait, they posted it as like this is a great costume.
yeah, like that was one of their employees dressed up as Kyle Rittenhouse. Like he, instead of an assault rifle, he had like a Nerf gun, but he had like the green t-shirt, like the blue spandex gloves, like
So was that the dealership that that guy was apparently protecting that did that?
that'd be hilarious. No, no, I don't think so. That was in Kenosha.
Oh,
That and
okay.
it got burnt to the ground, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe he didn't need to protect it. Oh man.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Uh, dude, but yeah, that's crazy. I was actually thinking, what do you guys consider like not appropriate if you saw someone in like a costume where you'd be like, I can't believe they even like decided to go there. Because I was wondering, can you go as like just a blind person? Is a disability like a costume? I'm pretty sure it's not, but I feel like I've seen that in the past.
I would assume you can't do that because like it's an insult to the blind person because they can't just like wear a costume to not be blind one day. Like they're actually like stuck with it. I'm assuming that's what someone would say, but me personally, I would never stop laughing all night if like one of you guys showed up to like my house as a blind person for Halloween. Like that shit's hilarious. Like, I'm sorry.
I
But
feel like
like
that's
I
not
could
too out of
see,
bounds.
yeah, right? Like what if like yeah, that's not that bad. Like there are some people who are blind and it's like not that tragic. It's like just like maybe like mildly tragic enough to where you can like make fun of it a little bit. Yeah, what
Okay.
disability? Like can you show up as like a paraplegic?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like if
Like
you
could
don't
you
normally use a wheelchair, can you use a wheelchair as part of your costume?
can you show up as like a level 100 like developmentally disabled person? Like
I don't know. That's I'm wondering, can you? I don't think so because I've never seen it. But I'm just thinking, would you be personally appalled, John?
but
I mean, I wouldn't be appalled, but I personally wouldn't do that.
I feel like honestly, if I was like disabled in some way, I feel like I'd almost feel more of a type of way if you didn't do it. Like if you had the idea but then like decided not to do it. Like I feel like that's like leaving me out of the fun. Like I can't take a joke or something like I just want to
Mhm.
be normal, honestly. Like I would rather not be like treated like something is terribly wrong and like we can't even touch that subject. Like that, but that's me personally. I don't think everyone's necessarily like that. But yeah, if I ever lose my legs, like I would appreciate a couple jokes thrown my way about how I can't walk anywhere. I'd probably find it hilarious, honestly.
Yeah, like I've seen plenty of like articles and stories of throughout the years of people like celebrating, I don't know, disabled people doing like creative costumes. Like, for example, someone in a wheelchair does something like where their wheels are part of the costume, and they're like, wow, that's great. But then, like, on the other side, you can't like choose to like enter that world unless like you actually have a disability. But yeah, isn't that the
Oh
point of
my
Halloween
God.
to like to like represent things that you're not like close to normally? And if you want representation as part of a minority group, it shouldn't you be okay with that? I don't know. I just think
That's
it's
kind of true.
interesting
I
to
think the
consider.
reason people wear the costume is important. Like in the scenario that you brought up, people aren't dressing up to be um, paraplegics because they admire them. They're doing it to Valero's point about it being funny as a joke. So like you're basically making the person the butt of the joke. That's the problem. It's not necessarily that you are taking on the costume. It's because it's the intention behind taking on the costume.
Mm.
So yeah, that's probably why I wouldn't do it. Like, 'cause it doesn't feel like you're doing that because you authentically think that you're interested in what it's like to have to do this. You're doing it so that other people will hem and haw and like have a laugh. So yeah, that doesn't. Yeah, I would think that that's why they would not be okay with it. Not necessarily because they be represented, but because they're being represented as a joke.
So a person in a wheelchair can dress up as something inappropriate for a laugh.
Like what?
I
Can they
don't
dress up
know.
as a blind person?
Yeah, would that work?
I think what makes
Yeah,
a
can you do that?
I would not do
Okay.
that, but but I think like a person in a wheelchair is not like the intention is not necessarily bad because that person can decide, I guess, whether or not making fun of themselves is what they want to do. Like you making fun of me and me making fun of me is not the same thing.
Hmm. I guess I'm more on Balero's side that I feel like it's kind of sad that automatically it's like they can't even be part of the joke. Like, if they are to wear a costume, like it better be something respectful. Otherwise, like you're going against like everything that your people are fighting for or something like that. So they can't wear a blind person costume.
Wait, who is
Like
they?
if you are like someone else that is in a part of the disabled community.
Oh, I'm not saying they can or can't. I'm saying I why that I wouldn't do that. Like yes, about our line. I don't think that makes sense to do.
Mm.
Now, if you know someone who is disabled and they've made it clear that they like being the butt of the joke, okay, then that's completely different. But like I would not be doing that. Like just like again, it doesn't seem to be inclusive if like you really don't know any blind people. Like I don't. It's hard for me to understand that you're being inclusive if like the only time I hear about your care about this is on a day where people are dressing up either for laughs or to be characters that don't exist.
So as long as you say, "Oh, I know a blind guy," like I have a blind friend, then you're
It,
good.
no, I think it's like in context too. Like again, I personally would never do that. Even if I had a blind friend who liked being the butt of the joke, I don't think that that's the joke that I would choose to make. But like, yeah, if someone did do that, like just with their blind friend, like okay, I I don't think just having a blind friend makes it okay. I think you having a person that disability that's your friend and like that they're okay with it and they make themselves the joke, then all right, I guess if you just want to be the butt of the joke for the sake of it, like, all right, I'm not gonna fight you on it.
Let's say that like I don't know, next year some guy or girl or whatever the hell is working at a zoo and they catch them like doing very inappropriate and unforgivable things like one of the with one of the animals there. And it's like it's made completely public, like this person is arrested, put in jail, and all that stuff. And then that same year, Mila decides that she wants to be a zookeeper for Halloween, and she wants all of you to be zookeepers too. Like,
Wait. So the in this scenario, the person who was doing the fucked up shit was a zookeeper.
mhm.
Okay.
That was the only way that they could get access to the things that made them such an abominable person.
And I'm
So then,
assuming
so
this
that
like went
happens.
viral.
Yeah, so that happens, and now the quote unquote the costume of a zookeeper is now tied to something very, very unsavory. Do you like have to like actually tell her, or do you even like say we're not gonna wear that, or you just say okay?
If you say
Uh,
okay, people are gonna be like, "No." Like when you go out in public, it's gonna be like, yeah.
yeah, I think you have to tell her if you're gonna let her. Yeah, if you're gonna let her wear it. But yeah, I think she at that point, if I'm telling her at that point, then yeah, I'm letting her make the decision. So I must trust her judgment enough to be like, all right, well, if you're gonna go out like this, like at 6 or 7, like no, like I probably wouldn't like make let you make the decision on that. But the older she gets, yeah, the closer she's gonna be to having to make that decision on her own. So
Mm.
That's hilarious.
it is what it is.
Oh man. Yeah, yeah, I would tell her, and like then like if she still wanted to do it, I guess depending on how bad it was or like what kind of reactions I would get, as long as like it's not like a dangerous reaction. Like I feel like right now, like if she wanted to go as like a Palestinian, like I'd be like, no, don't, no. I would just be like, you're not allowed to do that. Like that's like it's like you're like asking for something bad to happen. But like if she wanted to go as like Harambe or some shit, I was just like, that's. I'm like, all right,
How do you
that's
even do?
fine.
How do you even do that?
Yeah, there's levels to it,
No.
and like, yeah, some things are all right depending on like what reaction you get, and some things aren't. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Yeah, remember like how back in the 90s, like people would say retard like all the time? Like that was like normal vocabulary, but then like we all figured out that like apparently it's like hurtful for us some people, so then like we all kind of stopped saying it now. But like at a certain point, like retard was like the more scientific word. Like it's like it and like it's still used in like other industries to describe slowness, like like flame retardants and whatnot.
Hmm.
Like and the original word was moron, but then like people stopped using moron and started using retard because like it was the more scientific word. But eventually like whatever people are using in lieu of retard now, like developmentally disabled or like is special needs a
I
thing? I'm not even sure, but like whatever word you use, that's gonna become the new insult. Like I just feel like there is no word you could use to describe like some of these disabilities that's gonna make them like feel like dignifying
mm.
in any way, or at least I couldn't imagine. So I don't know. Yeah, it was just something I was thinking about, like after we were talking about can you go as a blind person or a or a disabled person in some way?
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
it's
I
like
don't
calling handicapped handy capable. Like it's like capable. Like that's
be capable.
like that's the
That's
word
just
you.
as bad.
Yeah, like that's the
And if
word
I
you
was making
chose.
fun of someone, that's what I'm gonna say now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's
bro, this
worse.
guy is handy capable.
Yeah, handy capable. Like you've turned the bad thing into a prefix now. So like it like rides around with every word you put in front of it.
Yeah,
Yikes.
like
Yeah.
kids on the playground are using that as an insult now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
So so I wanted to talk about this Cheesecake Factory thing. So have you all heard like the story that the story of the woman at the Cheesecake Factory who went on a date with
I
someone at the Cheesecake Factory?
I have not. I only just heard it right before we went on, basically, like
Okay.
today.
Okay. Yeah, so there's a woman who filmed her date pulling up to a cheesecake factory and basically her uh, declining to get out of his car because she did not believe that the cheesecake factory was an appropriate first date for them.
That's got to be staged. Like, did you not
No,
know you
no,
were going to the Cheesecake
no.
Factory
So
before you left?
that's a great question. So no, it wasn't staged, but what happened was, uh, apparently he actually had plans for them to go to a different restaurant, a very, very nice restaurant, but she was an hour late to, well, she was getting ready, and so he waited, and then because they missed the reservation, he had to take her somewhere else. So she was mad about. She was mad about going to the Cheesecake Factory after she caused them to go to the Cheesecake Factory.
Wait, was this a first date, do we know, or are
Yeah.
these people just dating?
Yeah, it was a first date. Yeah.
If you show up an hour late to a first date, I won't be there. Like,
Right. Yep. That's another very, very good point. That's a very good
I
point.
you're lucky that you even got to Cheesecake Factory, honestly. Like,
Yeah, I probably would have taken you to McDonald's at that point. Like you've dropped to McDonald's level.
yeah, like, and you'd be lucky to go there too. But honestly, yeah, there's just
Yeah, I'll drop you at the gas station.
the gas station. Yeah, an hour late, that's disrespectful. Like, I don't
Yeah.
care how good you look. Like, no, yeah, I would not have
So
that.
so let's just be honest about something. I think we should just be start being more honest about shit like this because I feel like people have a really strange like sense of self-worth that doesn't seem to stem from anything. This woman was acting like she was basically a princess, and like by objective beauty standards, I would not say she is like incredibly looking. She's not ugly, but she had things about her that didn't make much sense to me. And the way she was talking to the guy that was taking her out was
Man,
like
I want to see her.
he was like beneath her. And it just was so strange to like see that unfold. Like you're just a regular woman, man. Like I don't understand. Like you're just like all the rest of us. Why are you acting like you're royalty? It was the most insane thing I've ever seen, or at least I've seen in a while. Yeah, so now she's being called the Cheesecake Factory woman because she recorded him, and like obviously there was backlash because most people are, I guess, somewhat
Like, how are you
sensible.
recording? I'm watching the video right now.
Yeah, yeah. I don't
The
know.
second the second someone like takes their phone out and starts recording anything,
Yeah,
even if it's just like to see like the scenery or something, like I'm gonna leave. Like that.
yeah.
Like you're not
So
actually here.
yeah, that's
Wait,
what's
they're
interesting.
both on the View. Like this morning, they both showed up to the View for a talk show.
Oh,
Like,
that's
what?
funny. Yeah,
It
I
must be
feel
yeah.
like
staged.
staged.
It's like nope,
Like,
impossible.
mm, sus. Actually, were they on the View? No, they're maybe not. That's not the View. Oh no, this is Kevin Wesley, The Truth Factory, which is hilarious because they went to Cheesecake Factory. But they are already on a talk show together. I'm
No,
looking at
I
both.
saw yeah I saw that. That's like a YouTube show.
But even still, like,
That's pretty common.
how
Like
how
YouTube
are
people
you
do that all the
there?
time. How are you
Hmm.
And they're
where?
both YouTube people, like,
What do you mean? How are you there?
because like if I just went on a random date with someone and then they took out their phone and started filming, like, how the fuck am I on a YouTube channel
So
doing
the
an
YouTube
interview about that moment? If
because
anyone called me, I'd be like, go fuck yourself. I'm like, I'm literally like busy doing other shit. Like, why would
I
I even
honest
take the time to go do an interview on
I
YouTube
honestly
about that?
think that they just you'd be surprised. I honestly believe those type of people just really love the clout. Like it's really not uncommon for people to actually do something in real life that makes absolutely no sense, and then when people flock to it, whether they get good or bad attention, they can just continue with the saga, even if it makes no sense for them to. Like that shit's a hell of a drug for the people that are plugged in to like if you're so plugged into your phone that when you're on a date and you don't go somewhere that you like, you're already talking to who you think your audience is, you're plugged in enough to chase the clout. Like 100%.
Yeah, staged. Like, if it wasn't staged by both of them, it was
Uh,
staged by at least one of them.
I honestly think Sheila didn't stage it. I think she thought getting her phone out, I think she thought people were going to agree with her that you aren't allowed to take your first date to a Cheesecake Factory if you're a guy. Like that was her starting point on it. And actually, a lot of women online did agree with her. Like not nearly as many people who
They're like,
disagree.
yes, sis, yes. I'm like,
Right?
no,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
You were an hour late.
Yes.
No, sis.
Yes. Yeah, cis. Yeah. That's a real thing. So yeah, that clout, that shit's dangerous, man. Yeah,
Oh my
that's the
god.
only reason I believe it, because the other, I completely understand the other guy going on, because if he's thinking that women think of him like that, like I would want to clear my name too, like as if like even if the Cheesecake Factory isn't like a place you think is bad, which is it isn't, like it's fine. uh, if the way she tells the story is not I was an hour late and we get to Cheesecake Factory and just I can't believe he took me here, as if you just got in the car on time and didn't miss that big ass what was it, fucking reservation for the nicer place. What are you doing? Like he probably tried more than I think you should have to try in a first date if you're really genuinely trying to get to know someone, and she still fucked it. I just don't
Mhm.
understand it.
Dude, there's no way.
It's just
There's no fucking
it's
way.
just so crazy.
See, what doesn't make sense to me is I think this was part of the video. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure she was saying in the video that you don't take someone that looks like me to a place like this.
Yeah,
She said that, right?
correct. Yeah, she did say that.
Okay, so it doesn't make sense to me that she she is saying that she's objectifying herself and saying that you don't disrespect someone like me by objectifying me and then not objectifying me enough to take me somewhere that someone that gets objectified is taken to.
Yeah, you didn't put me high enough on the objectification scale. That's the problem.
But if he did do that, he would be in trouble too.
Yeah, you just be a simp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like I can't imagine a situation where you'd win with that kind of girl. Like, if that's how your first date is starting, like,
Yeah.
she's only gonna ask for a lot more than that, like, later on. Like,
Well,
I can
that's her
imagine a
best
way.
foot forward. Like, she's trying to make her best impression. Like, that's it. Like,
well, yeah, and a lot of people mentioned that is that like you should be able to tell, like if you're the guy, like if she has made you wait an hour, like she's not that interested in you. Like you are a meal ticket. Like just understand what is happening here. She looked at you as maybe I'll have a dinner with this guy and it'll be a really nice dinner, and that's it. Because no one who likes you, women who like you, do not stand you up for an hour. That's I just
no.
with no communication at all. Like, sorry, that doesn't happen. That's not real. They don't. That person did not care about you. Like, you do have to be smart enough to realize that.
Yeah, yeah. And looking at the guy, like, he does look like someone who'd be desperate enough to wait an hour. So I'm like, all right,
Yep.
like, poor guy, but hopefully he's learned his lesson. I feel like maybe that's the best he's ever done. Like maybe that's the only girl that ever swiped right on him on Tinder. And he was like, "Damn."
Ugh,
Yeah.
oh Jesus.
Work on yourself, King.
Oh
You
my.
said work on yourself, King. Honestly, yeah, I feel like that's
For real.
really the best you can do. Like just
Yeah.
like keep working on yourself and like eventually you'll get someone like better that's like more
See, this
up
guys
to par.
guys like him though are part of why people like Andrew Tate exist. Because if you look at that guy's trajectory in dating, it's not one that is leading to like a healthy, well-rounded partnership with a person. That the way he is going about dating is not doing that. And I don't know why that is. Maybe no one ever taught him those, like what appropriate boundaries should look like. But the fact that he's able to, or willing to wait tells me like, yeah, like you said, he's just probably desperate. And that's that's unfortunate that so many people are just like that. For you to feel comfortable enough to say it again, to like get yourself on video, makes you think that there are a lot of people like you who believe that exact same thing. Like a whole tribe of people who think like that.
Yeah, no way.
Gross.
I
Yeah,
think if she looked like she does, she listens to a whole tribe of people exactly like you're saying.
Right, yeah,
Like
that's fair. Echo
it's just an
chamber.
echo chamber. Yep.
Yeah. Uh, what a shame. Yeah.
yeah, he's got mommy issues for sure.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, the Cheesecake Factory has now been listed as a place to not take women in 2023. Don't do that. That's proclaimed by the Beehive. by,
PI.
by the group, whoever.
You can't go to
Yeah, you can't
Cheesecake
do that.
Factory.
There's a lot of there's they actually made a list. Like someone came out with a full list that people went back. I didn't look at it, but apparently there's a whole list of places you shouldn't take women on a first date, and apparently the Cheesecake Factory is one of them. Now, to the men who might be listening to this, if you ever have that happen to you, just run in the other direction. It's fine. You'll
Like,
that's not the one for you. Let that person go do what they want
like
to
the
do with
fact
someone
that
else.
she let him get all the way to the Cheesecake Factory before recording the video. Like,
Wait, what?
how did it get that far? Like, even if
He
like
didn't.
you
So
missed,
she did not know that they were going to the Cheesecake Factory as a backup until they got there. So they
and
got
she
there.
didn't
She looked.
ask,
No, she didn't. She thought. I think she probably thought they were still going to the original place.
and that was never clarified. I just feel like
No.
someone's dropping the ball on the communication here. Like if you show up to an hour late and I made a reservation and be like,
And
oh well,
and
we're
maybe
not
he
gonna make our
did.
reservation. Like, where do you want to go now? And then like if you like refuse to tell me and like you have to pick a place, then I'll be like, okay, well I'm going
Maybe.
to Cheesecake Factory. So then
Yeah.
she would
Maybe.
know that like we're
Yeah.
going to
Maybe she
Cheesecake
did.
Factory.
Maybe she did. I don't know. But if she did, yeah, that just again that just reinforces like that's the clout. Like you wanted to pull up and make sure you had the Cheesecake Factory in view for the camera when you made your video about how ridiculous this is.
She's like, Cheesecake Factory. All right.
Like, look at
He's like, are you
she's
sure
like,
that's
look at
okay?
Yeah,
She's like,
dude, for real. Like she
yeah,
probably got excited. She's like, "This is content."
yeah, content. That's right.
right, like that just can't be like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. So like what, she just got in the car and they just drove away and like no questions were asked about shit until like they literally got to the Cheesecake Factory.
No, they went home and like figured out what the next scene was gonna look like,
Yeah,
and now they're
exactly.
on that podcast.
And now they're on a fucking podcast together at the same time, sitting right next to each other still. I'm just
Like
like,
they literally created their own showmans in real life. That's
yeah.
how delusional everyone is now.
Created their own show, man. And they filmed the drama part, so you drag
Yeah,
everyone in.
they just woke
I
up and are like, "All right, how am I gonna get famous today?" And
I
the,
think
That's
the
he's
worst
just
part
hilarious.
desperate.
is that like it's actually like kind of it's more possible than ever for that to be true. So
Yeah.
how can you blame them or
True.
stop them?
Yeah. I think he was just desperate. I mean that if either he is desperate, he was desperate, or that was the best acting job of awkward, not knowing you have any worth, kind of male. Like that's quite a show that you just put on, sir. Because if someone that devious would not be able to play that character without without something peeking through. I'm sorry, I don't believe it.
I need to watch the whole thing. I actually never saw his reaction.
He just looks like dumb as fuck. Like,
Yeah, he looks hopeful to get some attention.
I'm gonna post a
Okay, that.
screenshot of his face in the chat.
Ah.
This is like the best
That'll
shot of
fly
his
over
face
some
for the
heads.
most part.
Oh my gosh. Like,
Yeah, yeah, man. It's rough out here. To all our
Oh,
young kings,
oh my God,
all the
man.
young
to
Like,
all the
kings.
young kings, keep your head up.
oh.
Keep your head up.
I
Oh
feel
man.
bad because like all I needed was a glimpse and like I can just
You can see it.
Like he just has a
I can
face to get
see
taken
it
advantage of.
coming. Yeah, tonight.
like, but in what? Yeah, what's the best case scenario here for him? What he was thinking was gonna happen,
Um,
That like he he like like get some probably.
and then what?
I don't know. He probably hasn't even like thought he'd get that far, so he probably
that's
didn't think that
probably
through.
So why even show
probably
up
it.
if you don't think that's ever gonna happen?
No, that's probably the end game is yeah to get some. Yeah, I would
Yeah,
guess.
well, that is the end game. But
But
like the next day or after that, like no, he's not thinking about
he
that.
on like the podcast they were on, he said that he he said that he was looking for a relationship with someone, and so yeah, either he
No, this
is
man cannot have a relationship with that woman. Like he will get
No,
killed.
Yeah, literally, she will use him for everything.
But
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying if you're not self-aware enough, like you have romanticized love. Like this is a very like this is exactly what we did to little girls in like the 90s. Like you have a very romanticized version of love, and for some reason you think you can pay your way into someone's mind. Like that's not going to happen. They made you wait for an hour. You should understand that their actions should have impact here. Like how could you go and completely ignore that? That lets me know that you're delusional, sir.
Mhm.
You have to treat yourself better than that if you actually want something real. But he's not ready.
It still doesn't make sense to me because like does he think like this is like the best that someone can treat him?
Probably.
Man.
Yeah, that's why I said he must have some mommy issues. Like, just to be able to take such disrespect, I'd be like, no, 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 no.
An hour. Like a fucking hour. It's crazy.
Oh, shit.
Just look at his face. Oh yeah, this makes sense to anybody that's just listening to this, but man, wow. Mm-mm-mm.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, what I wish. Does anyone have quick access to the list that of places that are approved?
There's not an approved list. There's a disapproved list.
Yeah, there's a blacklist.
I see. Okay. Yeah, it's just always been my impression that like you just don't go to any chain place with someone you're dating until you fucked. After that, then you can go anywhere.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's always been my impression. Is that wrong?
That wasn't. I mean, I don't know much because when I last dated, we were in college, and if the fucking chain wasn't on your list, then you were gonna be fucking lonely as shit because no one had your money.
Yeah.
No one had any money. Yeah, you
Uh,
weren't going on any fancy
yeah.
dates.
So Danielle got taken to Olive Garden.
I mean,
Okay.
that's pretty good for back then.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, chains are just
That's
fine
funny.
by us. We're not. If it's a good chain, then it's fine. I don't care.
Okay, I'm just saying in terms of
Yeah,
like
honestly, I
a
agree.
single working professional, not anyone
Yeah,
that could be considered a child.
I think inflation. There's just been inflation on that.
That's interesting. I feel like what it really depends on is how hot the girl thinks she is, essentially. Like, she thought she was like too hot to be taken to like the Cheesecake Factory. So like the question is like if
Wait.
you are like a 10 out of 10, like what's a reasonable negotiated first date place where you would still not be like
Why?
underselling yourself? Like you wouldn't want to like go to McDonald's. Like I feel like
So
that's
wait,
fair to say.
you presuppose that make thinking you're the best looking person in the room means you can't go to a restaurant chain?
Yeah, like if I knew I was like a 1 or a 2 out of 10 on the look scale, like I would expect like I would be happy with an opportunity to go on a date with someone at McDonald's. I'd be like, "Okay, yeah." But if I am a 10 and I think that like you're gonna have to like I can get like anyone to take me on a date to McDonald's for sure in a millisecond. Like so like and even like Cheesecake Factory you could get. So like you're
Uh,
gonna want like maybe
so
something more, but at the
s-
same time like you don't want to be a complete asshole. So like where's like the middle ground for like being super hot
wait, so
and still
this also must presuppose that hot people don't want relationships based on anything genuine then.
well, I mean, like, not that they don't want relationships based on anything genuine, but like they want things based on like something genuine, but then they also want their other person to either be like super hot or like have money or like
That doesn't sound
something.
that doesn't sound genuine.
Well, that just that part, but like they want all the other stuff too.
Yeah, I guess I don't understand why someone hot has to want that, but okay.
Why someone hot has to want that? So
Yeah, I don't get that.
would you ever accept a first date to McDonald's if you were a girl?
If I was a girl, if yeah, I guess it would depend on the person. Like if I was in again, if I was in college, which that was literally the last time I dated. Like yeah, it would depend on what point in my life I'm at too. So
Like,
like
what if it was like now, and like obviously you don't have a wife and kid, but like for some reason you're single now,
if I
and you're a guy, so it's different.
yes, that's so I don't understand how I can answer this from a girl's perspective other than to say yeah, I think it's fine because I think it's fine.
So you would basically still at the end of the day be fine. Like if I were a girl, I would feel insulted if someone invited me to a date to
Okay.
McDonald's. Like it's a stereotypical no-go place. Like when you say like when you want to make fun of someone about like how like worthless they are, you would like make fun of them by saying like, "Ha, I bet someone would take you on a date maybe to McDonald's or something," and everyone would be like, "Oh, like damn, like."
I don't
That's all
disagree
you're
with
worth
you.
is McDonald's. So like I would if someone actually brought McDonald's to me as a first date like opportunity, I would definitely assume like for one I'm getting insulted. And then two, I would be like I would just be like what the fuck? Like you can't scrape together anything better than McDonald's? Like really? Like I don't know. Maybe that is like disingenuous of me, but I think there
Yeah,
is
I
a
mean, I
line.
think it then depends because then I think you get to a point where you're basically suggesting by that logic that people who don't have enough money to date at nice places don't basically they shouldn't date because then they're
Mhm.
priced. You're saying they're priced out.
They shouldn't be dating me, yeah. They
Yeah,
can date like a
that's
two.
Jesus. Okay.
So let me ask to follow up on John's question. So what is the threshold between 1 and 10? So like going back to like I don't know what episode we talked about being friends with uggos. Like like what number or medium type of person should be allowed in Cheesecake Factory? Like you must be minimum what number?
Go
I'm
ahead.
asking you
Go
both.
ahead. So yeah, this isn't my thing.
Oh, that's to me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
believe this.
I thought you were asking John. Wait, so the
No.
question is,
I
what's
don't
the
believe this.
minimum hotness number where you would go to Cheesecake Factory?
Yeah, where you would expect like how low of a number where if you were at Cheesecake Factory you'd be like, wow, that's kind of weird. Like who took them here?
I feel like maybe like in eight, I would start questioning things. Maybe actually no, I would say a Cheesecake Factory is not even that bad. Like so, I'd say like maybe like nines or tens. Like can
No, I
probably
mean like the
negotiate
other
higher
side
than.
of the scale.
Oh,
Like like at what point are you not good enough for Cheesecake Factory?
not good enough. So like I guess like the tier under Cheesecake Factory would be like I don't know like fast casual like something like a Qdoba or a Subway or something like that.
Hmm.
Like that's a
And
step above McDonald's for
and
sure.
that person is what number in your mind?
So the Qdoba or Subway first date at our age, oh man, you're a three like or a four like I would say three to fives can get Qdoba and Subway. Like I would say that's normal. Like, all
Right.
right.
So in my
This makes
mind,
no
that
sense.
that means that Cheesecake Factory is average, and that girl was below average, in my
Yeah.
opinion. So
Yeah.
like it completely matched.
I know. Like right, exactly. Like I feel like that's fair. That's how I feel. Like that's she should be happy with Cheesecake Factory. And that's aside from the point that she was late. Like she should be fine with it. But she thinks she's a 10, so she thinks she's being mistreated. Like she can get any old guy to take her to Cheesecake Factory in a minute, apparently. So,
Yeah, and I would say that the way that men date now with their wallets first because of how just Instagram has morphed things. Yeah, has increased a lot of Instagram women's self worth or their idea of their self worth. So I think because they have the ability to get probably any guy like you said or to get a guy like at the drop of a hat now to take them to a place like that by just having their phone, then yeah, I feel like it inflates everyone's ego. Like,
Like,
but that's the problem. Like, just having someone's attention doesn't mean that you're liked or valued. You're just like you're just being commoditized. That's not this.
Hmm.
That's not. Yeah. So it's just weird. It's just weird how people internalize that as worth.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. That is true.
like how
But
can you
like,
gauge? Uh, okay, sorry, go ahead.
I was still wondering, like, if you're a 10 and you're still and you like if you're honestly a 10 out of 10 and you know it, like would you settle for like where would you settle for like an acceptable first date? Like what's the lowest first date location? Is it Cheesecake Factory? If you know you can get like any dude like to at least like talk to you for a little while, like anywhere.
Dude, I would go anywhere as long as it's what I want.
I mean, that's a good point.
Like if I just want like I don't know, a burrito and that town doesn't have like a legit authentic Mexican place and what they do have is Qdoba, then Qdoba is like more than good enough.
But what if they do have a legit authentic Mexican place? What if they have like a super nice legit Mexican place?
And I have an option, then yeah, I would want to go there.
Okay, yeah. Same for me. I feel like I don't know, like I guess I feel like I would try not to be a super snob about it. I guess it really depends on the guy and like how good of a person they are, but like yeah, I certainly wouldn't be accepting McDonald's or Subway if I was a 10 out of 10, that's for sure. And like but I do think it is shallow to a point if you get mad about getting taken to Cheesecake Factory
Hmm.
and you're not a 10 out of 10. Like, because she wasn't. So it's just like, you can't be mad. Like,
Again, I think it just depends on what you want. If what you want is someone to take you nice places, then yeah, that's a reasonable threshold. But
true.
if what you're seeking is like the connection with the person, like a jackass can take you to a nice restaurant. So I don't know. If the only thing you're looking for is a good time at a nice restaurant, then yeah, I think that should be a key indicator. But otherwise, like you can find probably some good people who can only afford, I guess I feel like most people could probably afford Subway, but yeah, who could only afford maybe like a very nice chain restaurant, and I think those people are fine. Like, they just might be taking care of their life, so it is what it is.
Yeah,
I
that's
wonder if people who think they're I would I mean I would think that most people who think they're tens probably think along the lines that you were describing, Valero.
Like, you're not going to accept McDonald's. No fucking way. Like,
the part I still don't understand is like, do do people not plan dates together anymore? Like, are you supposed to just show up and
yeah.
not say a single word until like,
So you show up at the restaurant?
yeah,
Yeah.
The
you're like,
guy
all
the
right,
guy is
this is where
supposed
we're
to do
going.
that.
I feel like
But
that
how am
would
I
bother
supposed to know
me.
what you want?
Exactly. If
Like,
you
we
just tell
literally
me to
do not
pick,
know each other,
That
yeah. Yep.
that's the point. It's that you have to spend money to gain access to information to me. That's what people like her are like.
and you don't want to be objectified when you're telling me the only way to get to know you is through money.
Right.
Is to
Yeah.
objectify
Yeah.
you.
Riddle me that, Batman.
Hmm, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny, yeah.
Yeah.
That is
Just
real
a walking
funny.
contradiction and loving it. Maybe you do belong at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we need to
But
protect the car dealerships and take them all to McDonald's.
yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah, but how do you guys actually feel about Cheesecake Factory? Like, when's the last time
Uh,
you guys actually went there?
Dude, it's been like
um, I haven't
10
been there.
years, I feel like. You've never been there?
I like when I was maybe a kid, like once a long, long time ago. It looked a lot different then, from what I would imagine. But yeah, I haven't been there since. Yeah, I
I feel
only
like it's all right.
yeah I would go
It's
to like
good.
smaller places like that. Like I would go to the Cheesecake Factory if like my wife really wanted to go. But usually we just look for places we haven't been before.
Hmm.
So it's not like I wouldn't, but I just don't even think about it.
Cheesecake Factory. Yeah, I just feel like that should be planned ahead of time. You should have both known where you were going, what's happening, like basically before you leave the house or start driving. But like, I don't know, like that's how I am with like Lorraine, my wife. So like if we tried to like decide on a place to go or figure that out like on the way, like that would just be a recipe for disaster. Like there's just no way. Like for one, we're not gonna be able to decide that quickly. And then two, like, yeah, there's like a slim chance that like whatever I just so happen to like think of in my head is actually like what she's feeling too. So like, yeah, you always have to like throw out like a list of options that you're feeling, and then they throw out a list of options they're feeling, and then you find out where the options like agree with each other. But
That
like usually
yeah, that's
both of
not
your
how
first
those kind of
picks are
dates
not
go.
the same. Yeah. Yeah. If someone told me like, hey, like if I asked someone on a date and there's like you pick the place and pick me up, I would feel very uncomfortable with that. I'd
It's
be
not
like,
even that. It's just
okay,
an
I'll pick the
expect.
place and then I'll tell you about it so you can
Uh,
approve it first and then I'll come get you.
with women like that, it's an expectation. Like it's not like, oh, we didn't talk about it, so you pick the place. It's not even she's telling you to pick the place. If you're not already prepared with that, you're just not going out.
Well, then yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not going out.
Yep. Yeah,
I
which is
mean,
what he should have done.
these people do want daddies, remember? So you gotta
Yeah.
take control of like every single little thing throughout the day.
God. Yeah.
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 Thankfully, she represents a minority of what women out there can offer. So I'm going to
I
bet on the
don't think
rest of them, not on her. Come on, you all. You can do
I feel
it.
like it's only a matter of time before you as a woman like learn your lesson on that though. Like I mean, like, one, I mean, like, how old is she? Do you think she is? Like, she looks like, honestly, like, basically our age, maybe even older.
I would say
Like,
old. I would say older.
and she's still single. Like, so that's one thing. That's one knock against her
Dude,
that she
so
might have to
social
do
media
empathy,
will
right?
extend that life for far, far longer than you think.
That's true,
She'll always have some type of sugar or something.
I suppose. Yeah, I guess if you want to live that life, then sure. But if you're actually like trying to like find a relationship, then like
Yeah.
yeah, good luck. Like that probably explains why she hasn't found one yet. Because of how she's like what she's expecting. Like
Yeah. I mean him too. Both of their behavior
right.
explains a lot about why
And him too.
they are
Yeah, he
not
should be
coping
more like
well. This is not good all around.
yeah, he needs to accept himself and be happy with like not being with someone.
Or
Even like
or if
it's
you're
not
not
worth being with
happy,
someone if they're gonna be like that. So
yeah.
like just
Or if you're
be
not happy
cool
with
on your own for
yourself,
a little
if you're
while.
not happy with yourself to the point where you're doing this, then go work on yourself. Like it's okay to
Yeah,
admit that you
change it.
don't like something about yourself, but then don't just wallow in it and let people do this to you. Like that's not okay.
Yeah, I really hope they're not like still together in any way.
I don't
But
think they
honestly,
are.
like if he made it all the way to this place, then like yeah, no. An hour late, she would have already lost me there. Like, so we would have never got to Cheesecake
Right.
Factory. We would have never decided on a second place. It just would have never happened. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, I just
But that tells
even
me he
like,
was hopeful enough. He felt like this is something he needed to go through.
yeah, I guess so.
Did they
That's
mention
true.
how these people met?
Yeah, he they were at a bar and he like came up to her.
Are you serious? That's how they met?
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Me,
have guessed that. He
me neither.
came up to her.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought for sure it was online because like of the way he looked. Like I feel like she must have tricked someone with his pictures and those angles in order for her to even like pay attention to him or something like that. But I guess like although she's not a 10, she's definitely like probably better looking than him, like on a higher scale than he is, unfortunately for him. So
I
yeah, I'm
think if he,
surprised about
I think
that.
if he worked on himself at all, then that would not be the case.
Yeah, I agree. But you could say the same with her. She could work on herself a bit and probably gain a couple levels.
I guess I don't see her in this picture, but yeah, probably right.
Oh, yeah. Well, not in this picture, but yeah. I mean, honestly, she's like, I don't know. I guess like if you're into that kind of thing, I'd say like
That kind of thing.
a 7 or 8.
What the fuck is that? That kind of thing.
Uh,
Oh man.
and but
Um,
like I would say he's probably like a 4.
I
He's
think
like
he's probably like
medium
a five.
ugly hot.
I think he's probably like a five. I saw that on your snap.
I was dying when I saw that. Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Oh well. Yeah,
Yeah,
we've been at this an hour. How long do we usually go? Hour and a half, or do we do hours?
yeah. Usually an hour and a half. I wanted to look up. I heard a stat the other day. I wanted to look it up and see if it was true. Uh, that Americans spent like $12 billion on Halloween shit this year.
Yeah, I heard it was 11 billion.
Oh, okay, so close. That's close enough for us to talk about it, I guess.
Yeah,
That was the other thing. I want to be surprised by that number, but I guess I'm not because we spend on everything. But yeah, what do you guys think about that? Like, I feel like most people, if you ask them, they probably say they're struggling with finances and stuff like that. But apparently, they have enough money to like spend on Halloween. Or like, do you think that if you're in that scenario where you're struggling with finances, that you should still spend money on stuff like Halloween?
I feel like you gotta live a little, but
Live a
like at the
little.
same time, you can't like fuck yourself
Yeah,
over.
how I
But
wonder what the
like,
I wonder what the average was. I think in the stat that I heard that it was like 180 bucks per like that per purchase, like average purchase.
I think that's a little bit much, but I can see
That
like
feels
setting
like a
aside
smidge.
at least like $10 a month just for like small celebratory things to Valero's point, just that you don't totally give up on the world. But yeah, I think that sounds pretty reasonable, the whatever billion mark, because it sounds like we all spent some type of money on Halloween this year.
E- Yeah, but I would not say I would have spent that money if I was in dire straits financially. Then I wouldn't have. So like that, I think that's the difference. If I was in the position that I think most Americans think that they're in financially, I would not have spent that money because then if it's that dire and I can't buy like food, then like that $10 or that $186, whatever the money is, that would that would matter to me. And yeah, I mean, I can understand
yeah,
like
but like hardly.
it's a scale. $186 is a lot of money if you don't if you don't
Yeah,
have
that's a shit
any.
ton.
I mean, like, what kind of rent can that pay for? And it's only a once a year like event. So
I mean,
like, is a
that's a lot
hundred
of
and eighty
food
dollars
though.
really
It's yeah,
gonna like
it's a lot
take
of
you out?
it's a lot of food.
Well, I mean, you get some free candy on Halloween, so that kind of makes up for it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think for the most part, like what you're saying, John, is that like a lot of these people that are saying they're in dire straits aren't actually in dire straits.
Well,
They
they
just,
might be. I don't know. Like I can't say that they are or they aren't, but it doesn't make me feel like you are if that's how you allocate things, or that you don't care enough about your personal life that you would be doing something about it that I should care about. Because like I feel like if you ask most people and they talk about the like how inflation is right now, you would think that they want the government to do something about it and lower prices and like protect them in some way because they're helpless from these things. But then I turn around and see them do that, and I'm just like, well, you're not helpless. You're choosing. You're making a choice that this is more important to you than the things you're saying you can't afford. Yet you would want someone like me through like taxes to pay for it for you. So like, why should I care more about your life than you care? Like that's what it
I
makes me feel
think
like.
I
You
think the
can't get
problem is
taxes to pay for your Halloween costume.
No, no, for like lower, for like lowering inflation and like stimulus bills and things like that.
Actually, that is true. And yeah, you're right. With stimulus, like your
Yeah,
taxes will pay for anything
but
then.
but did you hear like during the COVID time, like all the things that the people who made the killing were like liquor stores. Like people had no money. They were like it's crazy out here. We can't live, and they were just going to fucking pick up liquor the whole time. Like I understand it's a coping mechanism, but you had control, like you had the ability to at least keep yourself going a little bit. Now, if you were able to buy booze and keep yourself going, all right, then I guess you got it locked down. But
I
yeah,
haven't
most
heard of
people,
a single person or company that did bad during COVID.
yeah, yeah. That's true.
Like everyone did great. Like that might be because of inflation, and maybe like now this
Well,
year it's like
inflation.
finally catching up to us.
Well, yeah, inflation wasn't even bad then.
Yeah, that's right. Inflation wasn't even bad, but everyone was making money. Like there was like a so many startup companies in 2021 and they or 2020 and 2021 and they all did amazing for some reason.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously the stimulus bills and all that inflation probably had something to do with it. And then like the PPP loans that like you could just like get millions of dollars from and just start
yeah,
spending. So like
yeah,
yeah, we'll see what the effects of that are, but like yeah, somehow no one was struggling. Like everyone who wanted a job had a job. Like people were changing jobs, getting new jobs for like literally nothing. Quiet quitting became a thing.
yeah. And people
Like,
still don't have like jobs by choice. And like if you're not complaining about that and you're good with where you're at, then that's fine. It's specifically the people like in my mind, and I have to believe some of those people are people who spent on money on Halloween because they spend money on other things that don't make much sense to me. Like I would assume like that's the people that perplex me. Like it's like why if you
yeah.
cared as much as you're like complaining about those things, which are normal things to complain about, you could actually make it so that they're not impacting you that much. But it makes me think people don't actually want that. They just want to talk about it. Just want to
Yeah, I
say it
think for
in
the most part
solidarity.
that's pretty much true. Like even if people were doing worse and like things were bad, people would still like spend money on booze and like Halloween and like going out on the weekends and shit.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're
But
probably right about that.
yeah, I feel like if it's like habitual, where it's like, yeah, like literally like every single month or every week I spend like a massive portion of my my income and budget on like recreational activities. And like, yeah, something needs to be done. But I think like with every budget, there should be room for recreation. Otherwise, like
Yeah.
capitalism won. If capitalism has you so hard where you literally can't have fun, then like, damn, I don't know. But like,
Yeah, or I would rather you
there's
just get
ways to have
yourself in
fun
a
with like no
get
money too.
get yourself into a play. That's what I was gonna say. Like, do those things while you're trying to figure like you can get yourself to a stable point, or you can spend the recreational money. But like, if it's going to be recreation or your lights, like you should spend it on your lights. Like, I would hope that you spend it on your lights. Like, the plan can't be we're just not gonna have any place to live at all. So yeah, that I don't know that I wouldn't want someone to do that, but if they make that choice, I guess that's up to them. I heard a call on this talk show that I listen to sometimes where people call in with their money shit, and this woman called in and said that her husband was spending up to $1,000 a month on mobile games while they were trying to get out of
Oh
debt.
my
And I was
God.
just like,
Yeah,
I was
he
just
has a
like, what? I
problem.
was like, what? Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
that's what the host what he said. Like he was like he has an addiction. Like that's like that. You're just gripped at that point. Just gripped in consumerism. Like just that's it's amazing how something as simple as like a so that's the other part of the coin for me. It's like you look at something like that. It's like something as simple as a mobile game just became a full on addiction for this person.
Where they're like literally crippling themselves.
Yeah. And then you have to
Yeah, that's
ask,
pretty
is
crazy.
all of consumerism just an addiction? And like, if so, how could it even be cured?
Yeah, I don't know how you like let yourself get to that point per se. I just take it as like you don't have any other better ideas to do with your money. Like, of course, like spending it on like responsible things are better ideas, but is that gonna make your life like instantly better? Like, no, but like buying like a bunch of like
I would think it would make
V-Bucks
your.
or whatever
I
is
think
gonna
that would
like
make
make
your
you
life
happy
better. Yeah.
in the short term. But like, there's not a lot of, I guess, great ideas to make yourself happy in the short term.
$1,000 a month, like, yeah, I guess if you invest it, you have to wait a long time to see if that go anywhere. But even if it was to like just get rid of one debt, like
1,000, that's a
a
lot.
thousand is a
You
lot.
can go on vacation like with that basically.
Yeah, if you had no debt at all, you could just go on vacation. Yeah, you could go. You could do anything else, or you could, if you really want to. If after that, you could just spend on the fucking V-Bucks again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a crazy amount. But anyway, yeah, she
That's
was.
a bit too much, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a fuck ton.
Like you're hurting yourself bad
Yeah.
probably doing it. Like,
And then like I hear a lot about how car payments are crazy now. Like apparently like everyone has like families having 2 to 3 cars are just like payments of 900 to like 1,200 each. I'm just like, how? How is that possible? Like
it's like a mortgage for a house.
what cars are those?
Yeah, cars like blew
1,200?
up after the pandemic. They got so expensive. But like also the interest and everything has gone way up as well. So
Right. Yes,
it's like
that's
both
true.
things. So you'll spend probably like $30,000 on a car and have like 50% interest if you just like take no down payment and just pay the monthly payments and your credit was like not that good.
Oh, oh, that's
And then
quite a
end
way
up
to buy
paying
a car.
$50,000 for the car over the couple of years.
Fucking
Yeah,
hell.
right. But like if you need a car to make money,
You don't need that car. If you can't afford a car, you don't need that car. You need my fucking
yeah,
'07 in the back.
that's true. The other seven in the back. Yeah, yeah.
You need a fucking beater. Like
Yeah,
holy
that is
shit.
true.
Yeah, I can't imagine saying I'm broke, I have no car, and then going to get that car. Like if you get like I
A
understand people,
$30,000 one?
yeah,
Yeah, that doesn't make
even
sense.
10,000 seems somewhat reasonable. 10,000,
Yeah,
20,000, okay. But 30,000? You did ten
yeah.
thousand three times on that one car?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. You messed up.
That's
Yeah, you
a
could have bought three beaters for that.
But yeah, to your point, I mean, they just raise the prices, and people keep paying for it. So I guess they're just like, all right, we can just keep raising it
Yeah.
forever.
And you were like, yeah, $180, that buys a lot of food. I was thinking about that. It really doesn't anymore. Like the last two
It
days we went out to eat
it doesn't.
for
Oh, we're going out to eat, yeah, but like groceries, fuck yeah,
even
I could buy
even
a lot.
groceries.
I could buy a lot
Like
for
I'll
a
buy
hundred.
like a ham, some toast, some eggs, and like cat litter, and that's $100.
Cat litter, ham. Yeah, you picked pretty much all the most expensive things.
But that's it. A ham, cat
Yeah,
litter, some eggs and toast, and it's like a
yeah.
hundred.
You gotta. I mean, yeah, you have to be resourceful with it. You can't just eat the exact same way that you've been eating forever.
Jesus Christ. I mean, yeah, okay, so like rice and beans. Yeah, you can buy a lot of rice and beans with a
Yeah.
$180.
With 180
But like if you
dollars, I
want
can
to eat
pretty.
normally,
Yeah,
it doesn't get you far at all.
I don't think. I mean,
Like that's about a week worth of food in this house or at the
I
grocery store.
that could last. Yeah, that lasts us. Yeah, probably about the same amount of time. Like, no, a week and a half, 2 weeks. Because most times we go to Costco, we spend between 200 and 350, and we only go every other week now. So yeah, that's
So it's like
about
500 a month-ish.
yeah. So that's
That
125
seems
a
correct.
week basically. So yeah, that would be fine. Like that. Yeah, if I had the choice between spending on Halloween costumes for one night and or eating for a week and a half, 2 weeks, yeah, like I'm eating.
But it's just one night of the year. That's the night you switch to the rice and beans for that week, and then like you just like spend like
Ugh.
50 and just like
I just
squeeze it
I
out
just
and
feel
not
like
even worry.
that thought process means that you're just committing to being at that level forever. Like you have to always struggle between making a decision between doing things you like doing and eating. Like I don't want that to be my long-term solution. That sounds terrible.
I
Yeah, it
think
does.
that the
But what can
problem
you do with
is just
$180
that
to really change your situation?
I
Man,
think the problem is just that people
eat first, I guess.
like they just want to be happy. Like they think having a good life means being happy at all times, but that's not necessarily like what a
Right.
good life
Yeah.
actually is.
That's very fair to say. I agree with that.
So you use your resources on whatever you think is going to make you happiest the fastest because
Yeah.
that's what you think everybody else is doing.
Chasing that dopamine. Happy,
Like
happy,
really
happy,
honestly,
happy.
like all it really takes is that you make money for one, you have like an income and you make more money than like you pay. And in order to make all that happen, you usually just have to like sit out, do the math on how much you make, how much you spend, and then
Sure.
you just make adjustments. And you like usually like with any budget or income, you can figure out ways to be happy and save and do everything for
Yeah.
the most part.
Yep. I
But
agree.
like it's somewhat easier said than done because like if you have all these like responsibilities and like all these things you got yourself into and then like something happens and you're just like not making as much money as you were before and like I can see how that can happen. Like but if you're like just starting out and you don't have like hella payments and like debt and shit, then yeah, you should be able to plan things out in a way where you can make money, you can spend money and survive.
Yeah.
Maybe not lavishly, but like within your means.
Right. Yeah, you can live a simple, happy lifestyle. Yeah, but I agree. I think there is a bit of lost like people have lost the idea of being happy while being like content. It feels like people chase a lot of very surface level things that aren't necessarily enriching their life. Like if you were spending on things that were making your life better and you can continue to do that like just perpetually, right? Forever and you didn't stack up any like some crazy fortune while you were doing it, then that's fine. Like but I feel like the spectrum I see is like just it's always so lopsided. Either someone who has absolutely no money making purchases as if they have everything, like
Yeah, yeah.
full on, like the Jordans, the Gucci bags. I'm just like, brother, you had to have brought in like less than $20,000 this year. How is it possible? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that's just out of that budget. Nothing wrong with 20,000. It's the fact that you think you can do all of that on 20,000 and not be hurting afterwards. Even if
that's
you make
true.
300,000, there's a fucking limit. Like if you spend 400, your ass is gonna be hurting.
Right, exactly. You fucked up.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's all about what you make and what you spend.
yeah, all
And you
that
gotta
good
keep track of
old
that shit.
math equation. Yeah, but at least we had decent Halloweens. I mean, and I'm assuming no one here spent enough spent enough money on Halloween to completely break them forever. So that's good, because we're all still here. So
Yeah, speaking of spending money outside of your means, this year for my birthday, I'm trying to rent like a Bugatti
he's
or
like, I'm
like
about to do that right now.
yeah, or like something like absolutely crazy. I looked it up. It's only like a couple $100 a day. Like it's kind of a lot, but at the same time, like it's not like I always do that and I'll
With
ever do
insurance.
it
Wait,
again.
you're trying to drive it on the street, not like at a track?
Yeah, yep.
That's a
Like
Wait,
I'm
mistake.
just
which
gonna pull
one?
up to your apartment and just like pick you up or
Uh,
something.
Surely just the insurance on that would be ridiculous.
does it come with a security guard or an
No,
auto turret?
no, no, none of the ones that I saw did.
Oh,
But yeah, you could rent them, and like now we're old enough where people like usually don't ask questions about that. There's like, okay, if you have the money, then like go ahead, take it. But yeah, I thought that'd be fun to actually drive around like a rich person for a day or two.
it would be. You could go
Yeah,
around the loop like 50 times. Do you have to pay for your own gas or they give you some?
I'm assuming so. Like you probably have to bring it back with a full tank or something like that. and they give it to
Damn,
you with a full tank. But yeah, I was looking it
that
up.
would
They
be
have
pretty
like
crazy.
some like super nice options for, I mean, it's not like cheap by any means. Like it's fucking expensive. Like I saw like they were going like anywhere between like $100 a day to like $600 a day.
That's
And
not bad
like
at all.
yeah, that's like not terrible. So like I can get like the best car, like a literal Lamborghini for like $600 a day. Like so for $1,200, I can be basically I could feel like the richest person in the world, even though I wouldn't be, but I could feel like it just for a day. But I don't think I'll go that high. That's a bit much. Like I was gonna go mid-range, like two, $300 a day, maybe somewhere in there,
Where would you go? You know.
just around. I would drive to like River Hills or like the rich neighborhoods, and then no one would even look at me. They'd be like, "Yeah, that sounds about right. That's probably one of our neighbors."
Yeah. Yeah, the places that you'd have to go for people to be like, damn, that's why I'm saying you need like a turret or a security
Yeah,
guard or something.
yeah. Like I'm not going to Fifth and Keith with a fucking Lamborghini. Like, oh, I would just be giving the Lamborghini away. That's what would happen.
Okay, let's say that you park on Fifth and Keith, but it's like amongst like a double line of Kias, like on each side of the road, just Kia after Kia after Kia. I feel like you'd be safe then.
Because they'd be distracted with all the Kias. Like they'd be
Hmm.
like, "Oh, there's a Lamborghini, but there's a Kia. We could just like quick hop in and steal this." Like, okay, let's just grab a Kia.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Or they would steal the Kia and crash it directly into the Lamborghini right in
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
front.
Yeah, I would
City
I would
lights.
rent a car like that to. I would just like do a track thing, but I wouldn't want to drive it around like other people.
I would want to drive one and smoke a fat ass blunt at the same time. But I mean, that's illegal, unfortunately. But still, like, I would want to do it. But like, I'm sure that if I brought it back, like, smelling like a blunt, like, they probably wouldn't be happy about that.
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, maybe I can find like a renter who's like okay with that. Maybe I can find
Dude,
one
I
who
feel
like
like
supplies you with some. Like check the glove compartment for your complimentary fat blunt. I'd be like, nice. That's what I'm talking about.
don't you feel like anyone that actually owns or can afford one of those cars probably it does smell like a blunt in there all the time,
Like, doesn't it have
or a
to?
cigar or something. There's no way it just smells
Exactly.
like a new car.
Like you just drive that car and you're just stone cold sober with not anything like cool, no cool accessory to be just like having or anything. Obviously, you can't just like have like a cognac or something like while you're driving. But still, I feel like it wouldn't surprise me. It would like I would maybe not be completely surprised if I got in the car with someone who actually owned a Lamborghini and they pulled out a little like special like glass of cognac or something. Just like I saved this for the extra times or like the special occasions. And like okay, like I feel like I could just see that happening. Like you have so much money where it's just like you're not even gonna get caught or like questioned. And like you're probably not gonna try and be like so reckless and drunk where you'd be getting caught or questioned anyways.
Hmm.
So yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you drive. I hope you drive carefully with your blunt and your cognac.
Oh man, I'm just gonna total the whole thing. I'm just gonna walk out and be like, well, it's not mine.
The problem is that like that view or that image doesn't even seem far-fetched to me to see someone behind the driver's seat of a running car with a glass of cognac and a blunt in their hand. Like t totally reasonable. I can see
I
that.
I've seen a tons of people smoking blunts and driving around Milwaukee. Like that's like
With a glass of cognac in their
not
hand?
with a glass of anything. I've seen actually, you know where they drink and drive, and I've seen it over in like Waukesha and like Oconomowoc, Pewaukee, like over there, like the white people area. Like
For real?
that's yeah, like literally like. I've seen it multiple times now. Like they will straight up like this one guy had like this like huge red pickup truck and it was like this beat down like red pickup truck, like this country bucket. And like he was speeding like so fucking fast and like driving in everyone's ass. I'm like, dude, who is this guy like coming up behind me like way faster than everyone? And like and I just like pulled over to the right lane and let him pass. And like he passed me so fast and then like I kind of followed him like I kept my distance, but like I let him be like the cop finder and I just wanted to go fast also, but I figured he'd get caught first. And
Hmm.
like I realized I'm like, wait, what's that guy doing? Like he kept like leaning his head back, and I realized he was drinking a beer, like a glass bottle of beer. And then like at one point, he literally like finished the whole beer off and just like recklessly just threw it right out the fucking window, like on the side of the street. Like, and there was like tons of cars like all around him at the time.
Oh my
And then like the moment he threw it, he put the pedal to the metal and just zoomed so fucking far away so fast. I'm just like, holy shit! Like that that's yeah. In my opinion, it doesn't get any more reckless than that. Like it's,
That is
the
pretty
Yeah,
blunt
reckless.
people don't even drive anywhere close to anywhere like that. Like so, yeah, that's.
that's
But I've never
insane.
seen like a cup of like cognac or something like that. That'd be funny.
Well, you can be the first one to do it.
Yeah, I'll let you
Yeah,
know how
I
it
can't
goes.
imagine buying a car that nice and just being that reckless.
Yeah, not that reckless.
Because I definitely want to have a nice, like a nicer car one day, like just my own car. But like even if I did that, I would just feel like I have to take care of it. And so like the moment, like to be sitting, like you just don't care then. Like that would make me think that you rented it actually. If I saw you behind the wheel, like either you have to be filthy rich, and if you're young, the chances are you're probably not. Like so, if you're young and you're behind the wheel of a nice car and you're just throwing shit, like yeah, you rented that shit and you don't give a fuck.
That's a
Clearly,
rental.
that's a rental.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Well,
That's what all the rappers do for their videos. They
yeah,
just rent that shit.
yeah. They don't put the cognac and the blunts in the cars though. They only do that in like the Impalas and shit.
Yeah.
Yes, the Impalas, yes. That's like, yeah, I've definitely seen some smoky Impalas
That's right.
zoom by me.
Yep.
If you can even look in it, those things are at 98% tint. It's illegal, but
I know. And then when they open the window, there's so much fog you can't see it inside anyways.
Yeah. Or the Oldsmobiles in the 70s and 80s. They were
yeah,
smoky as
right.
fuck too.
Yeah, yeah.
That back windshield was at a 90-degree angle.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Oh shit.
uh, well, that's good. I think this is a good place to leave it. Smoky windows on yeah, smoky windows for Halloween. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. I guess we'll see you again next week. All right?
Yep, next week,
Yeah.
All right.
as usual.
Well, until next time. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.